Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador. Super excited to be with you this week, and I'm super excited for all the people that we got to meet last week at Houston Quilt Fest. What a great show. I so appreciated, actually, we all appreciated everyone that came by to say hi to us. We had a great brother team there. The All Brands team was there, and I know many of you got to come and play on all the new machines, so a lot of fun, a lot of fun. In fact, I'm still unpacking my suitcase. I bought a few kits. I bought a few things to embroider on. And for all of you that saw my embroidery, you know that my jacket, I made those beautiful flowers for the corner. I accidentally made 2 right sides for the body and 2 left sleeves. So back there on my Brother 10 needle, I'm doing the right sleeve right now, and the Avenir is doing the left front. So multitasking to get this embroidery done. I want to wear the jacket before this weekend. I'm not going anywhere this weekend, but maybe I just want to finish it. So thanks for the laughs on that. I wonder if have you ever done that you forgot to mirror image something? So this could happen on sublimation. It could happen on printing. It could happen on the ScanNCut. Well, I did it on embroidery. So now I have 2 left sleeves and 2 right jacket pieces. So I think I'm going to have to make 2 jackets now or something. I don't know. I'll probably do it on my live show tomorrow. But in the meantime, today we've got Cindy Hogan, which many of you saw her in Houston as well. She's got a fun project for you using Artspira, and we're going to talk about monograms. So pop in, say hi. I see that we are streaming Brother Sewing and Crafting YouTube and Facebook pages. And tell us where you're sewing from. All right, Cindy, how's it going?
It's going. How's it going with you?
Great
Make
to see
sure
you.
I have a microphone on.
I just saw you yesterday in the airport, and here we are again.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Spent a week together. Yay, rah.
Oh, that was a fun show. You know, it's always so inspiring to see what other people are making, what's happening, all the new Brother machines, you get to play on them. Everything's great. So
all the things, as Tina says, we get to see all the things.
All the things. Everybody's popping in saying hi. Oh, Mary is working on a Christmas stocking. Good for you. I should probably start that because every year it's the week before and you all hear me crying because I didn't finish all my projects. All right, Cindy, what are we doing today? I know we got monograms, we got Artspira. I'm excited because there's a lot of possibilities with this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all of the different monogramming options that you can do with Artspira because it's a new feature that we have just added in. And it's super exciting, you know, combining it with things on the machine, plus being able to do it in printing, cutting, and embroidery is really sweet. So we're going to start in Artspira. I'm going to show you some samples that I've done for both cutting and embroidery. And then we're going to cut something out so that we can take it all the way through for at least one of the items. But I do have cutting and printing ones already taken care of. So I have, let me see here and make sure that I'm on, that I can share my screen real quick.
I'll watch for it here. Welcome, welcome. I know, Lucy, we all love Artspira. So anybody watching that you have no idea what Artspira is, it is an app on your phone from Brother, phone or tablet. Artspira is what you can see it on the screen. That's how you spell it. They have a free version and then they have a paid version, but download that free version and play with it. There's so many fun things you can do on that. And Cindy's Heather said, I'm on the edge of my seat. I am too. It's going to be fun.
I'm going to share a screen. Now that I've got it up, entire screen, that side we will share. Okay, it's ready.
I got it. There you go.
Okay, so let me make that disappear there. There we go. Okay, so if we look at our screen here, guys, and I do want to draw your attention to this before I forget, up at the very top of it, there is a little play icon. If you touch that little play icon, you will find all kinds of videos on Artspira. Everything from printing basics, that would be your print motor printer, embroidery basics. There are your basics on how to choose a stabilizer, how to choose a design, all kinds of stuff in there. Cutting basics, once again, the how to do, how to pick, how to edit on your machine, all kinds of things getting you ready with your products. That's one of the things that we like about this. Every quarter, we're making new videos. Artspira Basics. This is your how-tos for how to use everything within the app. as they come out with stuff and as they change things, we try to update those and put new stuff out. And then your sublimation basics. So you've got a little bit of everything in there. And I want you to realize that that's there so that you don't forget it. Okay. Now, today we're going to talk specifically about monogramming. If I touch new at the bottom, I have embroidery, I have cutting, and I have printing tabs going right across here up the top. We're going to choose embroidery first, and we'll touch design editor. And then down at the bottom, you can choose whatever hoop size you want it to be. So let's say we want to fit it in a 4x4 today, just so that we can keep it in a scale that's doable here. I'm going to touch the text tab. That's the A and the A at the bottom. And I'm going to do a double tap on my app. I'm on an iOS system. Androids may be slightly different. I don't know if you double tap or not, Angela. CLH. We'll put that in as my monogram, and we will tap go. So now I've got 3 letters up there. And down at the bottom, I have a new little word called transform, and it's got your ABC in the arc. So it's down here on the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to touch that key. And then you'll see the word monogram. There are monograms for all levels of Artspira. So you do not have to be a paid person to use the monogram. You have 4 styles that are free, and then we have 3 styles. This is in embroidery, 3 styles in embroidery that are paid. So the 3 paid styles, the font is what the font is. You cannot change it. So it is that style, and it is that font. The free styles, we can use any of the 300 fonts. I take that back. We can use anything besides the high quality, the HQ fonts. And it will, after we've selected our monogram, then we can go choose a font. I'm going to show you all of the different ones. We'll choose one of the paid ones first. That's part of your Artspira Plus subscription. If you tap the frame word, then you have 3 free frames that go across the top, and then you have 4 paid ones. I take that back. You have 6 paid ones across the bottom. These frames are available for all 3 platforms: printing, embroidery, and cutting, and same styles for all of the 3 platforms. So you tap one to select it. If you typed in your text wrong, or you don't like the way your monogram looks, you can tap the text tab and you can scroll and change it out. So these little wheels just kind of scroll back and forth until you select the monogram that you want. When you're done with it, you say done, and then we'll tap off and we'll say done and don't save. And then you would transfer that to your embroidery machine. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to go back into my transformation tools down at the bottom, and I'm going to choose the free monogram style. And I'm going to turn off the frame, because you can add frames at your embroidery machine if you want to. We'll pick a frame after we've changed our font style. So let's pick a font style. We'll touch font down at the bottom left, and we will tap the arrow next to the font that's currently selected. As you scroll through here, you have all kinds of fonts that you can pick from. And it just takes a little bit. You can tap to try some, see what you like.
Cindy, so recently Lynn Lilly was on here, and we were saying there are hundreds of fonts, and we were trying to guess how many times we ever made it past the B's, because by the time you get to the bottom of the B's, you're already at like a lot.
Yes, you're at a lot. So one of the things that I like to do is I've favorited few. So if you tap the heart, it will put it on your favorites. And then if you tap your favorites, you can go back and basically narrow down your choices a little bit more. You can also see the history of the ones that you've selected. So depends on whether you want to choose a cursive font or a bold font. And everybody's monogram looks very different depending on the font. So I highly encourage you to play around with them. I'm going to choose Alex Brush, okay, and tap done. And then if I wanted to space them further apart, I can space them further apart. I can put them closer together. after that, but you cannot go below 0. So that is it. We are done. And that's how you basically create your monogram. Now, if you go back into transform and you want to turn on one of your frames, you can do it then. So these are the frames. They're kind of fun. And I can shrink it in. As I shrink it in, it shrinks both items. So if I want my text to be larger after I've shrunken my frame where I want it to go, I can simply tap on that text and make it a little bit bigger. Because sometimes it adjusted a little bit more than I want to. There we go. And then you tap off of everything and you're good to go. So let's talk about it. Let's play with this in cutting. Cutting and printing are going to be very similar. I'm going to cut today. So we're going to choose cutting and we'll choose design editor. But the difference is with cutting is I can use my high quality fonts because it's not trying to adjust stitches. So we'll tap down at the bottom once again, double tap. I chose my font style, double tap, and we'll tap go. And then we'll pick our font. I'm going to make it pick our text. We're going to make it a little bit bigger, and then we'll touch transform at the bottom one more time. When we touch monogram, you'll notice that this time for cutting and printing, there are 5 styles. 4 are free, and 1 is premium. So the circle one is the premium font, and then you have your free ones. Let's do a 2-letter monogram this time. So that tells me I don't want just CL as my monogram. I want CH, so that has my last name. This is when I would come in here and change that center initial back to the one I want it to be. And then we will come back up and select the pattern and choose the 2 letters. So now I have just the CH. I can add a frame to it. Let's do this one this time. Oh, no, let's do that. We'll say
that
done.
looks cool.
And then you can make it bigger. Now, if I want to tap and change my font style, it is the same method. You tap the text, we come down to the font, and then we come and select a font style. If I chose Alex Brush, I want y'all to notice what it does. I'm gonna tap off of everything and I'm gonna zoom in. Do you see how it's welded my letters together automatically for me? I don't have to worry about that. It takes care of that, takes it out of the worry. And if it's, sometimes it's the mathematical center is not always your visual center. So you may want to move your text around just a little bit in your frame. And you can come in and play all day long. I mean, this is kind of one of those, you can go down this rabbit hole for days. Can you not? All right, but you'll notice that high quality fonts can be selected when you're in printing and when you're in cutting.
It's so easy to do. I'm watching you navigate. And by the way, y'all, we are live today. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, even if you're watching the replay. But it's so easy. And monograms are a huge thing. Well, especially for those in the South, like you, Cindy. Although I'm in Michigan and I love monograms.
I mean, Great Vibes is one of my favorites. So we are in the South. It's loud and proud. And, we like our monograms. What can we say? And if you want to see what it looks like in a specific color, you can grab the color tab and fill that text in just to see if you like it in that color versus something else. Now, if you really want to get fancy, we're going to say done. I can go and pick something. Hold on. Take me off the screen so that they don't see my shorts.
Wait for it. Okay, she's off the screen. Okay, everyone. Bring your comments and questions in here. When Cindy gets back and gives me the plus, I'll bring her up. And by the way, Fran John, thank you very much. Says Angela, I love your shows. Thank you. You're so welcome. And if there's ever a topic you want to know, let us know. Shelly says, can I do Artspira on my laptop? No, you cannot. At this point, you can use your phone or tablet. I say at this point. I don't know anything else different coming. I'm just saying right now, no. And let's see. Is Cindy back? Ready, Cindy? Give me thumbs up and I'll bring you back. Nope, not back yet. All right. Julie, I see your husband's talking to you. You're trying to do a live show. I get it. I get it. And there's one more question here, which I'll give this one to Cindy when she comes back. Gail, I did see your question. Can I use a cut file from the ScanNCut and send it to Artspira? And we'll bring Cindy up for that. I don't think so, but let's see what she's got. So Cindy,
can you hear me?
Sure you want me. Okay, I see you. I see like some gray things.
Okay. Yep, you see my gray little thing right here. I need my Artspira app as well.
Okay, here we go.
There we go. Okay, so in Artspira, up at the top left corner, you're going to touch the AR key. All right. Once you touch AR, then you can bring up whatever you're planning on putting it on, and you can tap to put your design there. And then now this is not going to place it, but it's going to let you see, all right, is it too big for it? Do I like it there? Do I like those colors? If not, then you can go back in and tap your colors, change the size. So I could reduce my monogram size. I can come in and tap color and pick a different color. Let's say we want to do blue instead. Now I can tap my AR preview again and tap on there and see if I like that better. Yeah, I like that better. How about y'all?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the burgundy.
I did like the burgundy, but you know, hey. And if you wanted it 2 colors, you could tap just the one. Once again, just tap the center. We can change the color. We could change that to burgundy. I have blue today, blue flock. So that's probably, I'm going to do it in blue, but I'll go back and put it in burgundy here for you to see. And we'll do our AR preview one more time. Tap to put it down there, and there you go. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool. That's so I love that because, you know, we've gotten used to on some of our higher end machines having a camera or a projector where we can see exactly what the embroidery is going to look like. And to be able to do this on the printing side is great.
Yep. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to tap OK. I'm going to tap done. We're not going to save it. And we are going to select our cutting machine. So there's my cutting machine. I'll tap it and tap done. You'll notice it has split them out. Well, I'm going to cut them both in the same block. So I'm going to choose cut options down at the bottom, and I'm going to say as is. All right. Now, y'all are going to notice one thing here I did not do. What did I forget to do? I'm cutting heat transfer vinyl. What should I have done?
What I didn't do with my embroidery, mirror image?
That would be correct. I need to mirror image this bad boy. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to tap the monogram, and we will touch layout, go all the way down to the bottom, and we will flip it. Now I'm ready to go. We'll say done, don't save. Go back to our cut options and say as is because I want it all out of the same block. And then I'm going to transfer it to my cutting machine. All right. So now we'll go to our cutting machine and we will retrieve this bad boy. Oh, you can bring the cutting machine up the center, take Artspira off. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Let me take it and make it bigger so y'all can see what I'm doing here. Wrong one.
Cindy, you have an update available.
I do, you know. There we go. I have not done that yet. So I'm going to come in here and I am going to put a piece of flock on so it's heat transfer vinyl. It's flocked vinyl. I'm going to put it face down on the mat. I need to put a blade in here. So let me see what I've got. Do I have my vinyl? Nope. So we're going to go with the regular standard black auto blade. And we will put our mat in here. And I'm going to press the load button on my machine right here. Hold my hand here. And once it goes under the rollers, I'm good to go. And let's come back to this position here. Okay. So now we can touch retrieve and we can choose from our Artspira cloud pocket. There's my design. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to do a background scan so I can see where I placed my heat transfer vinyl. I'm going to add the weeding box on the machine itself. So how do I change the size before I transfer it to my machine? I'll go back to Artspira and show you that. But let's see here. Let's go into our edit menu and let's grab our monogram and bring it up there. But if I want to reduce the size here, I can go into Object Edit and touch the resize key and shrink it down if I want it smaller here. So I'm not stuck when I get over here. I'm good. We'll go ahead and say OK, and we'll say OK again. And then we're going to tell it what we want it to do because it can do more than cut. We're going to say, please select and cut. Then we'll do, all right, I'm cutting on a material I haven't cut in a while, so I'm going to double check here and put on a test pattern. I like the circle text pattern because I'm usually cutting fabric or heat transfer vinyl. And in fabric, the hardest thing to cut is what? A circle, because it has to cut all of the angles. So I'm going to tap my circle up there in the corner where it's a piece that I won't be able to use later, and we'll say start. And it's going to cut that little circle out. Let me see if I can find my weeding tool. It's right here. So it measures.
Julianne wants to know to use half cut.
Oh, I should use half cut. You're correct. I forgot to look at that. I don't know why I cut last.
They've got you covered.
Wait a second. Well, y'all, you can't make this up. There's no blade in here.
Oh, goodness.
So hold on a second. Let me find my little pouch that I have all my blades in.
That would be a challenge to cut with no blade. Now, I do see a couple of other questions rolling in here that I will bring to Cindy. Julianne, thanks for thinking of that, too. And she did add the weeding line. I saw that.
Half cut. Let's turn half cut on. Yes. Go to page 2. Half cut on. Thank you. And I did not turn a weeding box on. So we're going to touch the settings key. And where is my weeding box? We're going to go down to half cut on, half cut pressure. Okay, wait a minute. Let's turn off the test cut. Back up. We'll back up again. All right, now here we go. Second page, weeding box on. Now we can add our test cut in there. There we go. Now I'm ready to go. We have half cut on. We have the test cut on, and we have a weeding box on. All those things that I said I would show. Reasons for test cutting. To make sure that your depth is correct, that you cut through the material, but not all the way through to the back of the carrier sheet. So you want to make sure that it cleanly cuts your vinyl, which mine did. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and say start. If it did not, I would go back and say test again and try again. I would increase my pressure, or if it cut too deeply, I would decrease my pressure. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Can you hear? Sounds like fireworks outside my window. They're doing construction still out front. They're never going to finish. But in case you hear that, it is not fireworks.
No, can't hear it. Luckily. So yes, I do have my vinyl auto blade in here right now. Reasons to use a vinyl auto blade versus the regular black auto blade. It has the most delicate tip that we have, and it does, so these teeny tiny serifs that are on this heat transfer vinyl cut beautifully with it. So reasons to put a weeding box in is so that you don't waste the rest of the vinyl. And then I'm going to come in the center part here. And take that out. I usually do my big stuff with my fingers and then my little stuff with my weeding tool. So I've got my big stuff here. Now I'm going to grab the weeding tool and pick out the little stuff. There's a teeny tiny spot right there. Okay. And looky there. Now, if you look at it from the front, it will be perfect.
That looks great.
So now, like I said, that weeding box, I'm going to come in here with a piece of chunky monkey scissors and take off the excess. And then this is ready to transfer.
Great looking font.
Isn't that pretty?
I believe great.
Which one didn't I do? I believe I did great vibes on this one. So then let's pick up that other camera. Hope I have, let's go back to this for just a second. And let me change your view so I don't make you seasick. Otherwise, you'll get seasick. Whoops.
I'll take you out. Just let me know when where you want to be.
Do.
See that beautiful print moda. Hey, by the way, while you're down there, I've got a couple questions for you. Patty says it's okay. We must be tired. Jet lagged, Patty.
Jet lagged, yes. Okay.
Sharon wants to know, are you going to have your live show this afternoon, Cindy?
That is my plan. If I get off, I've got a meeting this afternoon. So if I get off that meeting in time, I will. If I do not get off that meeting, it may be a little bit late, but my plan is to have it. All right, guys. So here are some of the embroidery ones. These are just different styles that I've picked up that, I mean, so this is your single letter. This is one of the built-in frames. This is, I believe this one's Great Vibes. One of them is Alex Brush. So I've just played around with the different styles and the different fonts that are available in there. And if we look here, these are different cutting ones. Wrong way. So I may have to pan this one a little bit. So these are all, so this is brown flocked vinyl. And then this is blue.
Oh, I like that.
So those are quite fun. But if I were ready to press this on, I would simply take that. We'll turn it the right way so you can see it. Put it underneath my heat press and take off and go to the races. What else have we done with this? So I've got a backpack here. Oops. This is combining the monogram with a frame on the machine. Most of the Brother machines have a frame that you can add your monogram to. Okay. This is the rope style, and I believe on the multi-needle, I believe it's style number 11, and it's probably the same on the Avenir and the Luminaire. Not all of the machines have the same styles, just so keep that in mind. Okay. Now, here's doing it. Let's go a little bit further. Here's doing it just a small size without a frame on the corner of a backpack. And this one may be my favorite. So this is using a faux marrow stitch on the Avenir and creating a patch, basically a patch, a freestanding patch here, both sides, to make yourself a tag. And that's done with the motif stitches, a custom motif. All right.
That looks great.
So, I mean, don't think of it just as you have to have it on a blank. You can combine your sewing and your cutting. We can print something out. You could sublimate. So you could sublimate yourself a a monogram in the middle of it if you wanted to. Well, you have to have white on it, so you might want to put a white circle and then sublimate your initial in the center of it, depending on what your plan is. You know.
That looks good. Everybody's saying they love the bag.
I had fun making that bag, I'll have to say.
So Cindy, Karen wants to know, hey, can you export the monogram to the luminaire and embroider it?
I can export the monogram if it were a decorative monogram to, if it were an embroidery monogram, I could send it to my luminaire.
Perfect. And then there was just a couple more that I didn't answer. I was waiting for you to come back. Patty, by the way, said your demo in Houston, she loved it, your Artspira demo.
Thanks, Patty. I appreciate that.
Gail says, can I use a cut file from the ScanNCut and send it to Artspira?
You can save it out onto your USB and then import that. So hold on a second and I will show you how you do that.
I didn't think you could.
Yep. Let me grab a USB stick and I will flip cameras again and pick the right. Let's see if I can pick the right one. My brain is not wired to that today, evidently. What camera is that?
That is your bag.
Okay, that's the camera I want, but I got to take you to the right setting of that camera, which means I have to find the remote control.
We can hear you, but we can't see you until you say, bring us back up. I know, yeah, keep dropping your questions in. We are live. And if you're watching the replay, drop your questions as well, because Brother Social will send them over to Cindy and I to answer them.
Well, fiddle-dee-dee.
There we go. I see Cindy now. You're on the ScanNCut. Is that where you want it? No?
Yes, that is where I want it. I got to pick the right one. There we go.
Okay, back to you.
Okay, let's get and save. Let me find a USB stick here. All right. So if I want to bring something into Artspira, an FCM file, I'm going to touch home. We'll cancel that. And let's go in and pick a pattern. Cannot do Disney, but I could come in here and pick any of the other items. So let's say we want, let's do, what have we got in here? How about we choose a football? We'll say okay. We'll say okay again. We're going to pick the one with all of it and say okay. I'm going to ungroup it and set it. Why did I ungroup it? And why is my whole mat showing a whole piece of vinyl on there right now? I ungrouped it so I could play with it in Artspira. It shows the entire piece of vinyl because I have not unloaded my mat yet. Okay. I'm going to save it. It will not save that image file. We're going to save it to a USB. All right. Now, if I have my adapter up here, we'll be off to the races. If I do not have my adapter up here, we may be challenged. I did not anticipate that question today. There is an adapter that I can use, but I can tell you how to do it regardless. But I don't see my adapter. That would be in my briefcase, as it always sits in my briefcase. Because usually that's where I'm using it. Okay. So in here, you can go into your design editor. You can choose import external files. Okay. And if you have a USB stick, I do need to share my screen.
All right. You let me know when it's up and I'll bring it up. Karen, no, I see your question. No, you can only export to a Brother machine, not to those other brand of cutting that you mentioned. Just Brother. Yeah. Artspira, Brother.
Artspira, Brother. That's it. Okay. Share screen. Yes, you can share it now. It's up. Okay.
Oh, there. Okay, got it.
All right, down at the bottom. So if we go into Design Editor, down at the bottom, you have the word import. Import external files, okay? So then you would find your USB drive over here on the left-hand side. As I said, my adapter is not in my room, at least not one on my desk that I see it right now. But it would be there. Let's see here. I have an FCM file right here, though. So if I tap that, that's bringing it in from someplace else. Let me do multi-select, select all, and we will then do ... and we will group them. Now I can shrink that in because that was bigger than my screen, but that gives you an idea of how that would work.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not realize you could do that. Learning lesson. I always learn new things on these shows.
You can do that with cutting and embroidery files. So
nice.
That's a good one.
All right. Sounds good. I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
What else do we got here? Elsa says, how do you change the size before transferring to your machine? When I select a size and transfer it, it's still the same size.
Okay. Embroidery or cutting?
There you go.
It doesn't
Elsa.
matter. It's the same.
Or cutting. While she's answering that, Shirley wants to know, is placing the letters in a monogram a personal choice?
Yes, it is. If you are Emily Post, your maiden name or your middle initial goes in the center. So, sorry, your last name goes in the center. If you're Emily Post. If you are not, which I personally am not, I feel like monograms are a very personal thing. And for me, an H looks terrible, absolutely terrible. Sorry, the L, my name. My middle initial is L, and the L looks terrible in the end. So I don't like it there. So I always do the L in the center if I'm doing a 3-letter monogram.
That's funny. Wait, what's your middle name?
My name is Cynthia Lee Hogan, and I kept my.
I have an L too. Mine's Lynn. So I like the W in the center. I'm with you.
It just depends. That L looks terrible hanging out on the end. So I always leave the L in the center. And it's a personal choice. But Emily Post, yes, your last name is supposed to be in the center of the monogram. Now, if it's a 2 people merge situation where you've got a hyphenated, you're not in the monogram. You're not really in monogramming at that point. You're in just lettering. Okay. Now, there is something that you could do. All right. Somebody asked about changing the size before we transfer. So I don't know if they were talking about cutting or embroidery, but I can show you right here. You want to bring that screen back up, Angela?
Yep. And I'm still laughing. Gail, I'm trying to figure out who Emily Post is. Who's Emily Post?
She's like the etiquette person of America. I mean, she's long gone, but there are Emily Post etiquette books, and monogramming was one of those things.
Okay. I'm obviously not correct because I didn't even know who that was. Watch.
I mean, that very well may be a Southern thing, okay? But I mean, it is, hey.
Oh, Elsa said she wanted to know about embroidery on the embroidery side.
Okay, so in embroidery, if you are doing are we talking about specifically monogram or other things? If we're talking about a monogram,
it sounded like it was just general. She can't get that
in
size.
general. It's only going to go up.
Screen.
All right, so let me go in and let's just add a design in general, and I'm going to tell you what the deal is.
Shirley says I'm too young. Thank you, Shirley. I feel better because I feel like why do I know my phone's going to be blowing up? Like, how do you not know who Emily Post is?
I mean, she's all about etiquette. That was in the day when we had newspaper print, All right, guys. So if you have a design on there, it can only go down and up 20% because it's a fixed stitch design, which means it's not technically being digitized in the software. And so it can only go down 20%. So if I try to go any further than that, it's not going to. If I were going to resize this one and I have a machine that has stitch recalculation, like an Avenir, a Luminaire, a multi-needle, the 6 needle, 6 and 10 needles, they all have resizing with stitch recalculation. And with those, you can go down to 60% and up to 200%. So that would be your better option for resizing. Okay. So if I tap off, that's as low as this one's going to go. Even if I try to make it any smaller, it is locked. That is as small as I can get it. If I try to make it any bigger, it is locked to how big it can go. Okay. And that is just simply based on how it can recalculate, because it's not recalculating the stitches. If I made this any smaller than that, it would be just a blob. It would be so hard. It would just be so stiff and so hard, and you would not be able to see it. It would be puckered. It would just be a disaster. You would break your needles. So it's only letting you go down as far as it can without stitch recalculation.
That makes sense. Answer? It sure does. I think there was one more question I have for you. Let me just bring this. Oh yeah, Bev had a question. She's having trouble getting Artspira on her wireless system. She bought the Brother 5500 and wants to know if you have any suggestions for her.
It's not really your Artspira on your wireless system. It is your, well, I guess technically it is. It's your device. You have to be connected to a 2.4 gigahertz system for things to work. Now, have you connected? Let me ask you this. Have you connected both the devices together? So have you, in your settings, let's bring up the screen again, Angela.
Okay, got it.
In your settings, have you gone into your machine settings and connected your machine? That is a big thing. So the 5500 has to be on the 2.4 gigahertz in order for it to be read here. And then you would tap connect to connect the machine.
You know, Cindy, you're talking about the 2.4 gigahertz. That's a big one because a lot of the wireless routers now are even higher, but usually they offer both. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So everyone pay attention to that. If for some reason it's not working, then you need to double check that you're on that lower one, not the higher.
Yep, that is the biggest thing, is that you have to be on the correct network settings on your machine for it to be recognized to be able to be added. Okay, and you have to go into your machine settings and choose that Artspira. Basically register it in Artspira. Okay.
Perfect. Tina says, look up Cable Guy and Emily post on your TV, both funny and informative. I do know who Larry the Cable Guy is. I'm not that old or that young.
There you go. Goodness. All right. And if you have problems from there, if you're still not connecting, contact Brother Support. They're really good at trying to get you connected. It may take you're going to have to go through the buffer layer, but after that, you'll get to somebody that can help you out. Okay.
Perfect. Everybody's saying, thank you. Thank you. And I have a link down below. Don't forget to visit your Brother dealer, by the way. A lot of them are having tech parties, parties showing off all the new products that came out this fall. So go to Brother Sews, or if you can see that link that's scrolling, it's kind of like you have to take a snapshot of it. But if you go to Brother, what does it see? brother-usa.com/dealer-locator. So go in there because you can go to these events. A lot of them, some of them are free. You can go play on the new machines, and you can also stop in their stores. Now is the time. Yes. Everybody's saying, oh, your phone keeps switching between networks. Yeah, mine does too. So double check that. That's a big one. Cindy, this was very informative. Everybody said, thank you. Thank you.
They don't necessarily have to be on the same network. That's weird. I know. And the reason I say that is because Artspira is actually pinging a cloud. Okay. But the machine itself has to be on a 2.4 gigahertz network.
Yeah.
Now, printing wise, they have to be on the same network. There's no get around that. But on the other part of it, usually I can be on my Verizon network and still send something to my machine if it's connected to my app.
Right.
Just not
Verizon,
my printers.
not a brother product. You all know that, but
Right.
you got the idea.
Sorry,
you got the idea. All right, everybody's saying thank you. Any last minute questions? So Cindy, we'll see you on your live show today, possibly at what time or possibly later?
3:30 Central if I get off my meeting in time. If not, just hang around for a little bit because I'll be there.
That sounds good. And by the way, this last week at the Houston Quilt Fest, I had a lot of people saying that they love software, they love the ScanNCut, and they love your show. So be sure, if you want any of that information, hop over to Cindy's channel, watch that this afternoon. You can also go back and watch all of her replays. So that's a good thing. And then if you want to watch embroidery tomorrow on Tool, I'm going to work on my projects on the 10 needle tomorrow on my live show. And Thursday, I am your guest on Thursday, and we're going to be embroidering on Tool. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet because I've been testing it. I want to make sure it works first, right? And if it doesn't work,
sure.
I'll tell you what I was trying to do later. How's that?
Yeah.
Patty says, thanks for showing that. Esther says, thanks. Awesome show, Cindy. Looking forward to seeing you this afternoon. Till next time, everyone. Happy sewing.
Have a great day.